what planted the seed of this retreat or the concept of starting retreats and sharing your wisdom in this way?
That's such a great question. And I want to ask you the same question back too.
Sure.
But I think it's something that I would have wanted for myself. It's something that I would want to attend to be able to explore a new place, but not only kind of go to the hot spots and see what's there locally and eat local food, but also have an experience with like-minded people who are there for like a certain purpose to just get in touch with themselves and better themselves and just see where people are at on their own life journey, but also have someone guide the experience in a way that's very intentional and curated. So you feel like at the end of the trip, not only were you immersed in this new place and this new culture with this new community, but you really got something out of it for yourself that you can take back from the retreat into your life and use some of the practices and tools into your daily life and integrate that, or just kind of change some of the rhythms and things that you're doing already to have it be more aligned and intentional. So I just wanted something like that for myself. And when I look for retreats, that's something I look for. So I thought it'd be beautiful to put it all together in one space. But you are a big piece of putting all of this together too. So I want to hear your perspective on this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've always just been a big traveler. And like you said, getting out of your default, I think, is such a powerful way to open up portals that haven't been opened, that can't necessarily be opened when you're in your familiar, comfortable space. So, I think that's why I wanted to get into the retreat space and combine it with health and wellness and yoga because I love it and it's just provided so much healing for me personally. And I'd love to be able to share that with others and partner with people like you who know what they're doing, nourishing spirits. So, yeah, just getting people out of their comfort zone, like just kind of tripping up our systems a little bit because I think we need a little bit of that.
Yeah, it's like really disconnecting to reconnect because you don't have any responsibilities. You're catered like, all three meals there and all of your activities, and you can keep your phone away if you want to. You can really be disconnected from your routine the entire time. And it's like getting an IV therapy, of a vitamin in a short period of time instead of taking like a pill over a long period of time, like short yoga classes once a week or a couple times a month. Like you were coming in for this compact experience that's really transformational and really potent.
Totally, totally. And turning that energy into something that's like usable and transferable into like the day to day, like you kind of mentioned.
We've really curated like specific workshops into the retreat that are applicable to everyone, especially through Ayurveda. We're talking about seasonal guidelines, eating with the seasons, living with the seasons, working with the seasons. I think oftentimes we forget that we're so interconnected with nature. We think nature's out there and here we are living our lives. And we forget that we're animals and we need the sun and the moon and the stars. This is kind of how our ancestors lived off the land. So it's a remembering of some of those things and also how to make it applicable into our modern everyday life with our modern everyday stresses. So they're really pieces that you can take home as far as how to live with the cycles of the day and the rhythms of the day and learning about different spices and tools in the kitchen and using that as medicine. So things that you're doing already, but maybe those small tweaks that actually make a really big difference and go a really long way.
I love that. I love that. I can't wait to just learn more from you. You're such a wealth of knowledge. And you mentioned that there's something that anyone can take away. But is there a specific kind of person that you hope to see in these retreats or you think would benefit the most?
Now, I really work with all sorts of clients from all different age ranges to all sorts of walks of life because it ultimately comes down to like our humanness and our spirit that's within all of us that resonates wherever you're at in life. If you feel drawn to it in any way, shape, or form, it means you're ready to receive the message and you're ready to receive the healing. So I feel like if there's any interest or curiosity about Ayurveda, about yoga, about holistic living, it's for you.
And there has been a lot of interest, really. I know that some people are afraid of that, like far awayness. Based on your experience, what has surprised you about visiting an unfamiliar place to kind of get people in that mindset or maybe soothe some of the concerns people might have for going really, really far away? Because I know you've traveled too and had
Yeah.
some transformative experiences.
Yeah, I've lived in India for a lot of my life, so about 7 years during my medical training, but I've traveled backpack through Spain with my brother. I've done some solo trips, gone to Egypt. And so I love traveling, and if I'm able to do it, I do more of it. But I think for me, once you kind of get a little bit under your belt, then you realize the beauty of like what you were saying, how much it can actually open your mind to seeing just a different way of life and a different culture and how people live, and bringing pieces of that back to your own way of being. It just changes your mind. It expands your capacity. And so I think once you do it once, you realize the potency and the powerfulness of it. And then it's kind of addictive and you kind of can't stop traveling, every chance you get to explore something new. But I know you're very, very well traveled. So maybe you have some insight about people who are nervous or who've never traveled really outside of their country or state before, because it's a long flight, right? And you're in a new place with a new language. So if you have any recommendations.
Yeah, I think like a lot of my travels have been combined with work or school. So it's not like a vacation usually for me. Like the further away I felt from home or the familiar, the closer I felt I got to my real self because that's when everything rises to the surface, like the real feelings, the real like priorities and whatever is like deep down that you kind of naturally suppress or just don't really see in the blanket of comfort and familiarity.
That makes so much sense. And just for people that are listening to this for our retreat, for safety and just community, we have the easy access of like airport transfers and pickups from the airport. And you're with us in this beautiful cave house, Max Cave House. If you don't know them, you can check them out on their website or Instagram or on our website. But it's a beautiful, cozy hotel. And the beautiful part of it is we're all together in community. And that's how we're building familiarity with one another and through these grounding practices and connection with nature. So it's not like you come and you're kind of off on your own the entire time. There's a good amount of space where things are structured with morning flows of yoga and evening family dinners and more candle gazing practices and yoga workshops throughout the day that you can participate in. But there's also ample time in the middle of the day if you do want to explore on your own, if there's something calling to you, for you to have space to do that too. So I feel like that structure when you're traveling can really help. So it's not like you're really solo traveling off on your own and you have to figure everything out, your transport, your food, your stay, where you're going. You'll have a guide and you'll have us with you the entire time. So I think if you're scared, that might be actually a good first way to travel before you kind of go off and do more solo trips too, a group experience.
Yeah, and since you mentioned Max Cave House, I just wanted to touch on that. It's a family owned business, and I've been in contact with everybody in the family for years now because I've been in the travel industry and we've planned other itineraries together outside of the retreat. So I know that we're all very good people. They have a lot of connections. They're like the local source. So it's just nice to have that security of a local connection, someone you trust. I regularly talk to them, FaceTime with them, and they answer all the questions and try to accommodate as best as possible. This cave house itself has been in the family for decades and passed down generation to generation. So there's really a personal tie to the cave house itself. I guess piggybacking off of that, why Turkey? I mean, outside of like the connection we have with the family, Max Cave House family, why do you think this is a great place for a retreat like this?
That's a great question. I think one of it we've been talking about just because of the cultural immersion and how different it is from here in the States or in the West in general. There's so many sacred sites in Turkey and ancient civilizations and cultures to explore through some of the excursions. And we're just surrounded in nature. I don't know about you guys, but I live in Omaha, which is triple landlocked and mostly farmland. So to even just be in different terrains can be really therapeutic for the body. We have a meditation plan called a five senses meditation, where we actually go out into the valley and really connect with nature through this meditation, and some opportunities to go into the spice market and explore different spices and just local flavors, but also the medicinal properties of all of that. So, as rich as the culture is, there's so much healing just naturally embedded in it. I think it's a beautiful space for something like what we're trying to do with this holistic approach.
How are you preparing and taking space to get ready and gear up for something like this, your workshops and this whole like, big leap outside of the studio, which is what you're doing currently and, the spaces locally. How are
Yeah.
you kind of preparing?
That's a great question because it's a big retreat and there's a lot of moving parts to it. But I think the beautiful thing is that I feel like my life itself is a preparation for something like this through the yoga classes that I've been teaching weekly, through the private clients I've been seeing, through the workshops I've been holding on Ayurveda specifically, and the training I've done in Ayurveda and Yoga Nidra. So it's all the pieces that are really near and dear to my heart that I'm already kind of practicing and putting into play through the community here locally is what we're going to put together every day. So you have this well-rounded experience and you're really getting it all in this 1 week of time. So you're getting the yoga, you're getting the meditation, the Ayurveda education, the workshops, yoga nidra, candle gazing. It's really all the pieces I do with a lot of my clients and community here locally, but all during that 1 week of time. So I'm really excited for it. And we start on the full moon too on May 31st, which I feel like sets the tone for the entire experience. And I'll be talking more about just as we're talking about our connection to nature, connection to these lunar energies and solar energies, and how we can best just use everything, all the tools outside of us to guide us in our life and give us some clarity.
I love it. I'm so excited for the full moon stuff. You know this stuff really well. We were just talking about it. So I know it'll just make sense and fall into place. There's so many retreats out there. So many retreats. There's not a shortage. What do you think makes TRiKA Wellness and our specific retreat and approach different?
Yeah. So trika comes from the Sanskrit word three or threefold. And so it really does incorporate all aspects of our being. So when we talk about the physical aspect of our being, just being fed local food, farm to table meals, the immersion in the spices, the rest in the cave house, which is like kind of an experience of sensory deprivation when we're constantly bombarded in our everyday world, when we're seeing the news or hearing conversations, we're constantly taking in things. And so the cave house provides this experience of what we call pratyahara in yoga or sensory withdrawal to really be able to connect with our bodies and ourselves. And of course, we'll be doing physical yoga practices too. So that really covers the body aspect of it. For the mind, we're going to teach you different meditation techniques to kind of still the mind, center the mind, come back to center. And we call it sometimes like the monkey mind in yoga. So just teaching you every day different breathing practices to help you calm the mind. And this is really what's great to be able to take off from this retreat or off the mat and into your own life. And also just the community and the connection and the conversations we're going to be having and the journaling and the journal prompts in the evening are really going to help you expand that mental capacity and overcome some maybe limiting beliefs that you've been holding on to. And then the last kind of trifold approach of this is the spirit and the soul, which is really the soul of the entire retreat and the entire experience that we're trying to hold with all of the pieces of it coming together. There'll be specific tea and tonics based on the chakra that we're going to be talking about. So everything is really intentionally curated and weaved together to make it a full experience. So the chakra system is an energy system that lives within our energy body. And so we're going to bring awareness to each chakra on each of the 7 days to really bring in this spirit aspect. And it's hard to divide all them out. They're all so interconnected, working on one naturally affects the other. But this approach is really special because we want to make sure that you feel really nourished from the inside out and that you can really take something away more than just our physical experience. There's usually a shift that happens when you get there, just through the energy of the space and the container that we're creating. So I'm super, super, super excited for it.
I love it. I love the intentionality behind everything. And like we've been piecing this together for a while now, and it really, there is so much heart and intention going into it. And that's probably, if you agree with me, probably our top value, like one of our top values in planning this whole thing. Because, well, I want to hear what you think, like why it's important to stay intentional and stay true to our values and the values of TRiKA, which kind of like just recently we put into words, but it's existed from
Yeah.
the beginning of our planning stages. So, yeah, why is that such an important part of what we do?
It is really the heart of what we do and the heart of our approach. It's based on people and community and what's happening. And it's really about meeting you where you're at, right? So there's definitely a lot of planning that goes into place. But with how I work in my classes and my community and my privates, which is exactly how I'll be working at the retreat too, is meeting the energy of the group with what's going on and what's actually present and what's actually relevant and working through some of those things, whether it's through energy healing, whether it's through meditation or specific journal prompts for you. I'll also be offering oracle card readings throughout, and that's a great kind of just physical representation of things that might be going on the inside to get some validation externally. And so there's so many little pieces weaved into it for this threefold approach. And I think it's important because it's how we experience life. We really can't separate one from the other of going to retreat and only it being yoga asana, which means just yoga movements, nothing else, or going to retreat and it being only meditation the entire time or only just good food, which is great if that's what you're looking for. But we really, like I said, want to hold you in the space for the full person and for you to show up exactly as you are, but to leave feeling a little lighter, a little bit more loved and held, and just taking that back into your everyday life.
I really like the kind of fluidity of what you described because it will vary from group to group, from person to person, how energy flows and what you're going to see is the best way forward in
Mhm.
practice. I think that's really important and such a special thing to share in a group setting and I guess on an individual journey. And I think that's also kind of one thing that makes us unique. It's small, a really small group size that we're working with so that we can really give that attention to each other and to ourselves without feeling overwhelmed.
And everyone that's coming is coming in for a similar intention, and a similar connection. And so there's a natural community gathering of like-minded people, which I think is great. It always works out to be the right people coming for the right time for what they need, some way, somehow. It's kind of magical.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess in your privates and your workshops that you do locally, what do you see from the people that attend? What are some of the shifts that you see in them after you've been working with them after one session or multiple sessions long term as you continue to do this over time?
Oh, so many examples, so many shifts I've seen. And that's really the most rewarding part of what I do is the shifts that actually take place in people's lives or a new way of thinking about something or feeling about something or just a different energy and awareness that they have as they move through life has been the most transformative aspect of all of this work. It moves people. The yoga moves people because in my classes, I am asking questions and talking about the energy body or different esoteric concepts that is the kind of capital T truth. And so sometimes it's like lifting our veil off of illusion or kind of clearing up the screen or the lens, our perception, not clouded by our own expectations, our own projections, our own judgments, just seeing things as they are and asking the hard questions and knowing that all of the challenges in our life are really there for us as opportunities for us to grow. So reframing our narrative, right? That really moves people and shifts people because it becomes really personal. And so many different things. I mean, a big thing is having physical symptoms come up as we're going through some of the practices, tears flowing, emotions coming up, and holding space for that in my kind of personal containers as we really get, deep there. Big shifts, lots of questions, lots of curiosity, and just knowing that there could be a different way than the way that you've always been thinking and the way that you've always been doing things, and just saying, that's just who I am, or that's just how I've been, and accepting that as your life. What if there was an opportunity to do things differently, or see things differently, or take that one decision that'll change the entire course of your life? My goal is to help you listen to your intuition better. I'm not telling you the right or wrong thing. It's helping you access your own truth, your own healing. And I think that's what the medicine is. It's just revealing your own medicine that's always been there, your own knowing that's always been there, just showing that back to you, reflecting that back to you.
I love it. I love it. It's really just uncovering it all with all the chaos that we're constantly around and absorbing, and really just transforming that chaos into something either beautiful or using that chaos as fuel
Mhm.
for for creation or
Transformation.
for
Yeah.
momentum or transformation, like you said. Yeah.
Sometimes things have to really burn down for new things to come. So the process isn't always rainbow and butterflies, as a lot of my clients and students know that sometimes you do walk through the fire. So everything that's not really meant to be yours can burn away so you can have a new path for yourself.
I like that you just frame it as a natural thing because it is a natural thing. Fires, chaos is natural, and we're not here to suppress it. We're working with it and using
Back to the
it.
elements. It comes back to all the elements of the earth around us, are the elements within us, are the elements that we can use. Water is cleansing, fire is very transformative and can purify. The earth is very grounding. So, how do we bring these elements and activate these elements within our life based on what we need? And that's why it's really applicable to everyone and helps us remember that connection with nature again.
I love that word activate. I just like felt so alive when you said that. I'm like, whoa, I want to be
You're
activated.
ready.
Yes, every day.
Uh,
That's what makes life exciting. Like,
And it's all from my own personal experience. Everything I teach, I've definitely done a lot of different trainings and self-education because of my own interest, just to give it languaging to share with other people. But a lot of the things I share are because I've gone through that fire multiple times in my life and have had to reinvent myself and how I show up and who I am just to get more and more aligned with who I've always been underneath all of the layers. So really all of my teachings come from that heart-centered, very personal place. I just wanted to add that too.
yeah, absolutely. And it's just about really feeling comfortable with being brutally honest with yourself, because then that can translate to living aligned,
Right,
living honestly around those around you, setting boundaries
right.
and all. So, so important for anyone interested. If they're like, I don't know if this is for me, I don't know if I know enough about yoga, what would you say to them? And for anyone interested who's kind of interested on the fence, what could you tell them to feel a little more prepared? Or is there a way to prepare for this in a way that you suggest?
We have an option for a discovery call for an hour, a one-on-one call. Like I said, we're really trying to meet people where they're at and curate this for who's coming for you. And so we would love to hop on the call with you just to get to know you better and where you're at in your life, what's going on. We'll kind of dive deep there too. So this experience can really meet you where you're at and make sure your expectations are met and your needs are met. And then we'll kind of go over the logistics so you feel comfortable, the cost, your stay there, any dietary restrictions, all the little details to make your trip really seamless and flow well. And we're always available if you have more questions on top of that. About yoga or Ayurveda, or if these are new concepts to you. This is what I love doing. This is why I live. This is my passion. So I'm more than happy to chat about Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, all the things. Or if you just want little bite-sized pieces of it and you're here locally, definitely come to one of my classes or my workshops, and I'm happy to chat with you more about the retreat in that setting too. But I think a discovery call is a great place to begin if you're kind of on the fence or not sure or kind of feeling a pull, but there's maybe some hesitation. That's a great place to at least get clarity so you can decide.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have more questions right now. Do you have any questions for me? I feel like I've just been throwing them
No,
at you.
I would just want to ask you, what are you the most excited about?
I'm most excited about just being present with the emotions that come up in a new environment, in a new group, in a new country, in a unique landscape and unique structure, and absorbing, like you said, all of the elements around us, seeing how I can weave that into my own personal life and activate all of the elements that I have that live within me. All of it. Just I'm ready to absorb it and share that with like-minded others because it's just so special to be around people who want to be there doing the same thing, you know?
Totally. Totally. It just makes it all the more potent when everyone has a similar intention, right? And similar energy. So I agree. I'm just really excited for the community that shows up and holding space for the beautiful community that shows up. I know it'll be exactly who needs to be there. Will find their way there some way, somehow at the right time, either this year or in future retreats. And I'm really excited to really get to know each and every person deeply and to help each and every person to my capacity and just have this unique, really activating, potent experience.
And to just grow together. Like, this is just the beginning of this journey, and we're here for the long haul. I think this is a long-term journey, and we're just going to keep evolving and growing together. It'd be just beautiful to grow with this community from place to place. And I feel it. It feels good. I'm just really
It does.
stoked to be doing this with you, Priya.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you stayed around till the very end, if you have any questions, comments, if you want to connect with us, there's lots of different ways. We have the website. You can check out our Instagram. You can email us. We still have our
Early bird.
yeah, we still have our early bird for a couple more days. So if you're catching this early, reach out. If not, definitely at least connect with us if you're thinking about it down the line so we can get the wheels rolling.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you guys.